Hello, this is Krasny's Crunch Time, and today we are going to do some weapons, some armor, and some of the modifications, as well as decals and stuff like that. We're just going to talk about them a little bit and explain them a bit more. Well, what's the best and what isn't best, sort of thing. I'm going to use level 9 and level 15 as a set example, as that's the only things I have sets for currently at the moment. So first off, we're going to talk about weapons, and what weapons are good at level 9, level 15, and what weapons are not so good. Obviously it varies depending on your playstyle, but blah blah blah. Anyway, so it's equipment. So good weapons at level 8, good weapons at level 9, and for example, I'll give you the Remington here. Remington is a very good sniper despite being level 5. It has a lot of damage and good armor penetration, and armor penetration is an important factor when trying to kill somebody, because unlike say the AKS-74U, it only has 30 armor penetration, which means that although it may have more damage than regular assault rifles such as the AKM, as you can see the comparison there, it can't shoot through walls, whereas the AKM can shoot through walls, meaning if somebody runs behind a wall you can still shoot them anyway. Not all walls, just most walls. So AKM is very good for levels 9 and 6 and 7 and 8, of course. Like, you want a gun. The AK-74U can be very good if you use modifications properly, but we'll get onto that in a bit. Other good weapons to use around level 9, level 6 and whatnot is SKS. It's got high damage, armor penetration. If you're good enough shot, you can kill someone in either 1 or 2 shots, depending if you have a modifier to make it stronger. Pistols, just don't bother using a pistol. Pistols are all naff. All shotguns are okay, but due to the lack of armor penetration, as you can see, there's really no point unless you're really good with them, which you'll have to try for yourself in using them so much. So I'll go with weapons just to be a bit more specific. The Versuk is good. It is similar to the PP2000, but it's faster. But the PP2000 has less recoil. So they're both about equal. I'd say use either or, depending on which faction you've leveled up with. The UMP is pretty good as well. I haven't particularly used it a lot. It's got a lot of stopping power. Does reasonable amount of damage. Fires quite slow though. So, 50-50. Depends on your preference. The guns I'd recommend for that level 9, AKM, SKS, Remington or the SV, which are on par with each other, so it doesn't really matter as much, and either the Versuk or those two, one of these two. The RPD is not so good. It's good, but it's not so good at the same time. It's slower fire rate, and the Vepr and so yeah, those are good guns. To explain the more in depth about what each part of what's its face a weapon does, we're just going to give a few examples. Damage, obviously, is how much damage it does. Armor penetration, as long as it is 40-ish or above, it can go through walls. If it is under, then it probably won't, but may go through thin walls such as sheet metal and like train metal and stuff. Aiming speed is how fast you lift up your gun in order to shoot it. Stopping power is pretty sure it's how dead it stops them in the tracks, maybe breaks their bones and stuff like that, to maybe stop them from walking and whatnot. Dispersion is how wide the spread is, like if you're shooting at one target, how much the spraying will go everywhere, like a shotgun for example. Distance is how far it can shoot, although you can usually shoot a gun farther than you think you can just by getting better at shooting. Fire rate is an obvious one. 600 is okay, but if you have over 600, more likely to hit something and faster, but you know, it depends on how powerful your gun is and blah blah. Weight is an important part, but we'll get into that in a minute after level 15 weapons. Level 15 weapons that are good, well, they're all pretty good, to be honest, but yeah, show it all. SVD is still a good competitor at level 15. The level 12 weapons are still good, so is that one. But this silence weapon is not so good as the VSK, definitely. The AS file, which is the same ranking in the tree. You need to be, I think it's you need to be a major. Yeah, you need to be a major to get the silence weapons for them, and a soothsayer to get silence weapons for them, because it's the same thing. Remember, you need to fully upgrade black market or scavengers in order to unlock one of these skill trees. The missions for the Army Renaissance are more killing, and the Fringe Settlers is more stealthy and accuracy. So if you're not good with your accuracy, then go with this one. If you're not too good with killing, then go with the other one. Also, check the weapons too. AK-12 is probably the best weapon. I haven't got it yet, but it's got 45 armor penetration, which is ridiculous, and 55 damage and a higher fire rate. So you can basically kill anything in a matter of seconds, and it hasn't got a right lot of recoil. Good sniper. I haven't used it yet, but I've seen my friends use it. Does a lot of damage. Can fire all the way across the map and could go pretty much through anything, as it's got 70 armor penetration. The Ash 12 is okay, but it's got a slow fire rate, so it's more for single shot. So it can kill someone pretty fast, but only if you're... It's kind of like an SKS, but for level 15. So do not get the 9A91. I don't even know what that is. That's not for level 15. This one is okay, but it's not as good as an AK-12 or a silence weapon. So it's got a lot of recoil. It just fires straight up. So they just don't bother with that one either. In my personal opinion, this is all my personal opinion, so obviously people have different preferences, so be it. Anyway, onto armour. Modifications for armour is usually better if you have, in the gloves, if you have something like dispersion off the hip, aiming speed. It's just good stuff like that. One thing about modifications is if you... I find I'll change that one. You can change them, and it gives you a random thing. Like, you can only change one. Even if you have 3 modifications on it, you can only ever change one and it stays that one, but you can change it over and over again. You can use silver, and you can only change it once every 6 hours using silver, or gold, and you can change it all the time but using gold, but you know, not many people have gold. With boots and helmet, it's best to have high isolation. I can't hover over it, because high isolation means you can go through anomalies. If you have 100 isolation on your head, the best helmet to have for that is the Pilgrim helmet there. If you have, just get a modification on doing like plus 10 isolation, you have 100% isolation on your head, and then you can get some boots and get 100% isolation on that as well, which means all in all you'll be pretty much immune to walking through anomalies and taking damage from them for a very long time, so you won't get killed after like 2 seconds. It's better to be light than heavily armoured at level 15. Lower levels like level 9, it's still better to be light, of course, but it's good to be a bit armoured, I suppose, but not as much. This level is better to be lower armoured and higher isolation, so you can go for anomalies, go fast, run circles around people rather than, you know, dying and getting shot, because pretty much all the guns that they use at level 15 will go straight through anything you're wearing, so it doesn't really matter. You could go naked and be really fast and still beat people as long as you have the right gun. It's all about the gun at level 15, not really the gear. Modifications. Armour, pretty much covered everything, I think. Legs, if you... Oh yeah, we'll go upgrade. Well, you can't further upgrade anything on that. This is a better idea. If you have a second item, for example, you have a green one and a white one, and you drag it in, you can have a chance to upgrade it, but using silver, you have at start you have a 50% chance if it's two white things, and if it's white and a blue, then I think it's 100% chance, and white and a green, you know, so on and so forth. But you have a 50% chance we're using silver on the first try, and then 25, and then 25. If you're using gold, it's 100% chance in the first try, and then 50, and then 25. So gold is better, so if you're supposed to spare gold laying around, save it for upgrades, and don't just blow on random crap like decals. Oh yes, decals. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. Nothing special. Skins as well for your looks. They're alright, but you get them usually at the end of a map, and if you get a stash map, you will always find one eventually, because stash maps don't seem to find anything else but decals and skins. You could get some nice ones. Here's some examples. Another handy tip about level 9, by the way, as well, is that if you use in a level 6 gun at level 9, you can put level 9 ammo on it as well, so it can have more armor penetration and more damage, which means it'll be more effective. But if you want to be a level 6, you pick the lower ammo too. All this has to be unlocked via the ranking system and level ups, so all in all, yeah. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. If I missed anything out, let me know. Comment, like and subscribe hopefully, and there will be some videos doing how to increase your graphical performance, and also some videos showcasing different weapons and what they're good at and what they're not so good at. So bye.